The Clockwork of Violence. Violence has been the heartbeat of humankind since we first crawled out of the primordial soup and realized that one skull could be split by another with a stone. That was the first innovation, wasn't it? Not fire, not language, violence. The sharpened stick, the thrown rock, the hierarchy etched in bruises, and now, thousands of years later, it's still there, polished, dressed up in uniforms and laws and flags. But it's the same gesture. My survival depends on your collapse. I watch it unfold daily on screens and in headlines, pixelated blood and statistics scrolling past like weather reports. 3 dead here, 12 injured there. History repeats itself as a daily ticker tape of carnage, and I wonder why? Why is violence the lingua franca of the species? Why do we polish our guns like relics and polish our excuses like songs? Maybe it's hunger, maybe it's fear. The animal impulse is twitching beneath our clothes, but I think it's worse. Violence isn't just instinct, it's ritual, it's theater, it's how societies tell themselves they're alive. The crowd needs the spectacle of the beheading. The war needs the victory parade. The criminal needs the whispered fear in the eyes of his neighbors. We call it crime when it's disorganized, but when the state does it, we call it justice. Same act, different lighting. The philosophers try to explain it. Hope said life is nasty, brutish, and short, and so we need the Leviathan. Freud said aggression is the death drive turned outward. Nietzsche said violence is will to power, life affirming through domination. But those are just academic excuses for what you can see in any playground, any alleyway, any parliament, the thrill of breaking, the ecstasy of control. Here's the rhythm to it. Violence follows poverty like a shadow. Violence follows humiliation like a dog. When you are crushed, ignored, treated as disposable, you look for an outlet. And violence is cheap. Violence is a shortcut to recognition. The world doesn't look at you until you leave a scar. The newspapers won't print your name until you've put a bullet in someone else's head. Violence is in the microphone for the voiceless, though what comes out through it is often just more static and more pain. Then there's boredom, the abyss yawning in the modern world, fluorescent lit shopping centers, the hum of machines, the bland apocalypse of routine. People commit violence because reality is unbearable in its dullness. The ancient warriors fought for survival, yes, but also because it broke the monotony. Modern violence isn't always hunger, it's spectacle, adrenaline, a jagged edge to slice through the blur. Every empire was built with bricks of bone. Every religion soaked its altars in blood. We like to think we've evolved past it, but look at the headlines. Look at the prisons. Look at the cops in riot gear. We are ritual animals addicted to the theater of pain. When governments drop bombs, when gangs spray bullets, when an angry man smashes a stranger's jaw in a bar, it's all part of the same fever, a chorus of blood saying, I exist and I will not be ignored. But what terrifies me most is violence isn't just about destruction. It creates, it shapes the world. Borders are drawn in blood. Laws are born in conquest. Families are structured around fear. Violence is a midwife of history, and we keep thinking it, even as we mourn its casualties. Without violence, maybe we never have built pyramids, empires, skyscrapers. Without violence, maybe we never have written the epics, the myths. We are addicted not only to its power, but to the stories it produces. And it's a curse, of course. Every act of violence plants seeds for the next. Revenge, trauma, shame, they sprout generations later like weeds. A man beats his child, the child grows into a man who beats his partner. The cycle loops endlessly. History is a Mobius strip of bruises. You can't step outside of it without tearing the whole species open. So why does it happen daily? Because we humans allow it, because it's coded into the blueprint, because somewhere deep in the marrow of the human animal is the knowledge that peace is boring, but violence makes the blood sing, and because the systems we've built, capitalism, nationalism, patriarchy, are engines that run on domination, requiring constant sacrifice. We pretend to mourn, but secretly we need it. We put on black clothes for funerals, but then we buy tickets to the next war, the next boxing match, the next true crime documentary. We consume violence like junk food. It's the soundtrack of our human history, the metronome of civilization. And I'm twitching here. I try to drown it in noise and distortion, but I know it's always out there. The clockwork of violence ticking on, unstoppable, feeding this broken machine. We are its engineers and we are its prisoners.